Welcome to TJ and the Grumpy Old Man, a sports podcast where we talk about all of the latest sports news and controversial items. I'm your host, TJ, and with me again, as always, is the Grumpy Old Man. They say there is no shame in his game because he is always the same.
That's me.
Grumpy, how are you?
Wonderful. Thank you. Yourself?
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad. Today is Thursday. Hey, this is the first opening day of NFL action.
Very true. Very true.
Oh, look at you, Grumpy Old Man, supporting your Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady. Look at you.
Yeah, I'm more supporting Tom Brady and Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Tom Brady and Tampa Bay, huh?
Yes, and for those who didn't know, let's see, we're supposed to start at 9. Oh, well, it's 9 o'clock TJ time, just about 20 after. Good job, TJ.
Grumpy Old Man, I apologize. What can I say? What can I say, Grumpy?
Get on the stick. That's what you should say.
Oh, goodness gracious.
I will do better. I will not be a total failure at the ability to tell time.
Oh, I tell you, I run a little late. I apologize. There's a lot. What can I say, Grumpy? There was a lot that was going on in the sports world. I want to make sure we were prepared. We have a lot to cover and a lot of good topics to cover too. That is, Grumpy Old Man. A lot of controversial topics.
Let's get right to it.
Exactly. But most importantly, if you enjoy this content, you're a first-time listener, you're a repeat listener, you've come back, the number one way to support the podcast. Grump, do you know the number one way to support the podcast?
You push an imaginary button that's supposedly at the bottom that I never see.
Well, no, you push subscribe. That's correct, Grumpy Old Man. You like on Facebook and you follow on Twitter. Those are the number one ways to make sure that you are supporting the podcast. Again, we do this podcast live every single Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and every Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, this Sunday, we will not be going live. I'll be out of town. We will not be going live this Sunday, but we're going to be back this next Thursday, just like our regularly scheduled podcast, Grumpy Old Man.
So it'll be around 9 o'clock is what you're saying?
Oh, goodness gracious, Grumpy. Now, did you happen to see TJ Watt signed a monster deal? Man, oh man, he's going to be the highest paid defensive player right now in the history of the league. Signed a 4-year extension worth $112 million. Holy crap, Grumpy.
That's $38 million a year. I mean, he's a good player. He's a defensive player. Is he worth $38 million a year? $80 million guaranteed over 4 years. So he's gonna get paid again. This is not like a Mahomes contract where you sign for 10 years, 400, whatever it was, 450 million, whatever it was. This is only 4 years. So he's going to get another bite at the apple.
Yep.
And I mean, gosh, I'm just kind of.
Yeah. And again, it's 4 years, the $112 million. He's going to be getting on average $28 million a year. He's going to be $80 million fully guaranteed, highest paid defensive player in football. Holy crap. Again, here's the thing, right? TJ Watt, outstanding year last year, outstanding year the year before.
He's not been a defensive MVP of the league or anything like that. And here's the thing, you know how bad my math was? I was like, how much is that? It's only 30, almost 30. It would have been worse if it was 38 million as opposed to 28, but it's still awful high for what he's accomplished. And I'm not saying he's not a good player because he really is, but man, oh man, 4 years at 28 million per 80 million guaranteed. That means he's going to see all that money. He's going to see all of it and then some. They will renegotiate going forward as well.
Oh, well, absolutely. You're 100% right, Grumpy. Here's the thing, right? It just means that I don't envision them ever having a falling out with TJ Watt. And it's funny, right? You talk about TJ Watt and, the resume he's built for himself. He's never had, and again, albeit he's had injuries before in the past, missed some time, he's never had more than 15 sacks in a season. Again, TJ Watt is not just sacks, right? I understand that. Man, oh man, though, he's getting paid like he is.
Good for him.
Yeah. Hey, anytime a guy gets paid, what do we say? Congratulations, because we are so happy for you. I'm happy you got paid. Man, oh man, the Steelers. What do Steeler fans feel right now, Grumpy?
They wanted TJ Watt back. I don't think fans care about the money. I don't think, as long as their player is playing, that's all they care about.
Fair enough. And did you happen to hear a little? I mean, because again, the 4-year contract that he signed, it's going to bring him until, or extension that he signed is going to bring him until he's about 30 years old. So again, health permitting, he is going to, exactly as you mentioned, he is going to get himself another contract.
Yeah, how old is he now?
He's 26.
I didn't think he was 26.
Yeah, he's going to turn, what are we, we're in, yeah, we already passed October, right?
No.
Okay. He'll be 27 in October.
Okay. I'm just, for me, and here's the thing, I don't begrudge him making that money. I don't at all. But is he Aaron Donald?
No.
Was he his brother in his prime? No. I mean, I don't know. That's an awful lot of money for somebody who's not the number one player and the defensive player in the league. I just think it's a lot.
And now here's also, this is what Adam Schefter said. Steelers outside linebacker TJ Watt overruled his agents who believed they could have gotten more money today. He marched into the office of Steelers president Art Rooney and told him they had a deal. Then the NFL's new highest paid defensive player executed himself, or the highest paid defensive player excused himself and announced he had to go work out.
Well, okay. For me, who leaked that story to Schefter? Was it the owner? Was it Art Rooney?
You know,
I guarantee you.
You look at the tweets. They're like, is this TJ Watt who just went ahead and found a way to get on to Adam Schefter's account in order to tweet this? Like, who the hell would have the information for this? Is it like some random person overheard something, maybe, who was like cleaning, the trash bins near Art Rooney's office? I mean, how do you get any information like this?
Yeah, I'm just, like I said, that's an awful lot of money for him. And if his agents thought he could have got more money, did he really need any more? I don't know. That's an awful lot of money for TJ Watt. That's more than his brother ever made.
Well, again, anytime. Okay. Let's look at it, Grumpy. I mean, cap increases usually. Well, the odd thing about it is the cap stayed flat, right? And you talk about it, right? JJ Watt
went down. It went down. It didn't stay flat.
Usually it goes up. It went up since JJ signed his big contract, but still, right? The cap went down, and now he's the highest paid defensive player. Man, oh man, that's kind of a shock. But you talk about production wise. Now, again, JJ was a guy who did have injury history in the past, but JJ had multiple seasons with 20 plus sacks. I'm not saying that TJ can't go ahead and get to a point like that, but he's never shown that he has the capacity to have a 20 plus sack season. Again, they play slightly different. JJ Watt was more of a, hey, my hands down at the dirt defensive end on a consistent basis. TJ Watt plays more of the outside linebacker role, more, hey, I'm fitting in the one of the outside linebackers in a 3-4 system. So again, slightly a little different position, but generally speaking, very similar. Yeah,
I'm just going to say one thing. He's not even the best player in his own family. That's all I'm going to say. I always looked at him. Oh, he's so great. I'm like, okay, his brother was way better. And I'm not a JJ Watt fan, but I'm going to tell you one thing they both have in common. Man, they're shameless self-promoters, without a doubt. And they do it in a way to try to make themselves look like they're magnanimous and great, but it's all about them. I really feel that. And I'm just saying that because of this tweet from Schefter right here. It's like,
for certain. And again, I look at it and okay, what other outside linebackers throughout their dominance can I compare him to? I mean, Von Miller, he had one really good year. Von Miller got paid too. But at the time period, was Von Miller the highest paid outside linebacker in the NFL? After he had that big season, I'm thinking back and this is now 2012, 2013? I can't remember when he had a really big season. But Von Miller,
2015.
2012 was when Von Miller had the big season, 18 and a half sacks. I mean, he still was producing, when healthy. But man, oh man, TJ Watt, getting himself paid.
Okay. Von Miller was Defensive Player of the Year. Okay. And he's done it longer. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I have a bias against TJ Watt, but I always look at him as okay, he's okay.
You look at him as the ugly redhead stepchild, the lesser brother. Is that why?
That's exactly. I'm like, he's not even as good as his brother.
It's funny how that works, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'll tell you, it's hey, good for him. As I'll say it again, power to him. But oh man, Grumpy. We got some comments. I want to. What a film saying it's about time, TJ. I know I was running late. I know. I apologize.
What a shock.
I apologize. What a film's also said. Should I pause the game? Nobody mentioned the score. We don't want Grumpy to get worked up about Brady losing. That's right. That's right.
That's for certain.
What a film.
I have paused the game today. I'm not watching. I don't even have it on in the background. I've just paused it right now.
Oh, look at that, Grumpy. Look at you go, grumpy old man. We also got a comment here from Bill Brady saying, hi, what's up, Bill? Now we got a comment here. Alexander saying, how are you guys doing? Eli saying, hi, guys. Did you see that FIFA is wanting to make the World Cup every 2 years? I don't like it. It would mess up the league schedules and, it would make each World Cup less important. Grump, I want you to weigh in.
Yeah. Why? It's about money, right? You can double dip. So what they would do, they would alternate Copa America and Euros would be 1 year, and then the next year would be World Cup. And I don't know if it dilutes the importance of the World Cup, but it's all about FIFA wanting to make more money. Isn't it always? Let's be honest, right?
Well, here's the thing. Arsene Wenger has always said this too. He always believed that the fans and the people want to see the World Cup every 2 years. Give the people and the fans what they want. I know this is going to be bad. Here's the thing, right? If you're going to be having every single year, you're either going to have Euros or Copa America and the World Cup. What you're going to see is a lot of those big teams. And again, clubs are not going to be a big fan of this because you're going to see a lot of the big teams with the superstars. They are going to have players every single year that are not going to have the break that they usually get. And so, they talk about it all the time. Every single one of these players, hey, like Luka Modric, right? When he came back to Real Madrid after they had the outstanding, World Cup run, you're like, okay, you've added an additional 10 plus games that you would usually have had this time period to get off, to get fit. And now all of a sudden you're adding another 10 plus games. And the same thing with Euros and Copa America. You're just going to be, a little dinged up and you might not have the sufficient time, to work on your craft in the off season, to kind of get rested and get your legs prepared for a 38 game long season like it is in the EPL.
Yeah, it absolutely hurts club soccer without a doubt, because what happens like at the end of this year, right? They had Euros this year, so you don't see the star players coming back till maybe a week or two before the season starts, and sometimes they're not ready and they have to sit out a couple of games to start season. They do need rest, but FIFA is going to do what they're going to do. Let's see. It's not going to be immediately, because I know 2026, the United States has the World Cup, and I think if it's going to be, it'll be after that. I just can't see them having it this summer, and then in 2024, I can't see that.
Alexander's saying, TJ, that's a fake account. No, these are Adam Schefter's accounts here. He's got
blue check mark.
It's got the blue check mark. Are you trying to tell me that a blue check mark is a fake blue check mark? I hope not. Oh man, tell me that would throw everything for a complete spin. But man, yeah, he's got the blue check mark. I'm trusting the blue check mark. I see the Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport. I'm trusting the blue check mark. That's for certain. Alexander also saying, how you guys doing? And TJ Watt is a top 5 outside linebacker. For certain he is. But here's the thing. Would you say that TJ Watt has a bigger impact on his team than Aaron Donald does? And again, the Rams defense is fantastic. But I would argue that Aaron Donald has a larger impact than TJ Watt does.
Okay.
I'm an Aaron Donald homer, though, so I will admit that.
That's more money than Tom Brady makes. Who's more important? Right? Who's more important? I mean, I don't begrudge you making that money. Good for you. I'm just like, okay, so what does that do to the rest of the market? I mean, when you got somebody like that, and albeit, yeah, he's like a top 5, whatever he is, outside linebacker. But what happens when, Khalil Mack comes up again? Is he going to make $35 million a year? I mean, I don't know. I'll be interested to see what happens. Anytime you have one of those ground-breaking contracts, though, what does it do? It means everybody else makes that money too.
I was about to say, when you see one of those big contracts break through, you never see it slowly creep back. You don't see that. It only continues to expand and expand and expand. And you're right. You talk about Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack, outstanding outside linebacker too. There's a lot of those outside linebackers, and again, because they rush the quarterback and they can drop back a little bit in the pass coverage. They always, those are always the sweetheart positions. Outside linebacker, middle linebacker, everybody knows their name because, hey, they're sacking the quarterback or they're racking up 100+ tackles. So, they get paid a little more because everybody knows their name, right? Hey, they might not necessarily be the most important player on their team, but hey, they get paid because I think everybody knows the name too. That also helps. And they get the sacks or they get a million tackles, and that's what makes them, a little bit more important.
Where everybody knows your name.
Mike M saying, no, silly. Yes, you do, you grumpy bastard. Your middle name is Begrudge.
He's a worm.
Oh, look at that. Oh, man. Alexander was saying, but TJ Watt is the reigning defensive player of the year. No, he didn't win defensive player of the year. I remember JJ got upset that he didn't, and they went on that like, hey, he should have won defensive player of the year. I thought, didn't Aaron Donald win defensive player of the year again this year?
Yeah, I thought he did. I mean, what did he have? How many sacks did Aaron Donald have last year? From a defensive tackle position, no less.
I was about to say, you play an interior defensive lineman. Yeah, Aaron Donald won defensive player of the year again in 2020. Yeah. But, here's the thing, right? Aaron Donald is a different breed. That's a guy where he gets injured, never could play another down again. He's the first ballot Hall of Famer. No doubt in my mind. He's been so dominant. What, Grumpy? Don't. What, Grumpy? What?
How much money is Aaron Donald making a year? I'm interested. You can look that up because I'm just saying if TJ Watt is worth $28 million a year, Aaron Donald, to me, is an infinitely better player than TJ Watt, plays a position that people normally don't get paid in. But do you think he's going to take less money? So we're going to start playing interior defensive lineman $30 million a year?
Okay. Here's the thing, right? Aaron Donald signed his contract in 2018. The cap has increased since 2018. That also being said, he makes roughly he signed a 6-year, $125 million contract when Aaron Donald went ahead and signed the contract. Myles Garrett, players like Myles Garrett makes more than Aaron Donald too. So you got to take all that into account. And so does Khalil Mack. There's a lot of players that make more money than Aaron Donald, right? When you sign the contract, I'm sure when he signed the contract, he was the highest paid defensive player of the year. As the cap continues to expand, you're no longer going to be the highest paid player and the defensive player. That's just how it works, Grump.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just saying if I'm him, I'm pissed. Renegotiate my deal.
You can always do it. You see a lot of players in the NFL say, "Hey, renegotiate my deal." Now that I see what somebody else is working, I want you to renegotiate this deal.
It just makes me wonder how much Lawrence Taylor would have got paid if he was playing today. $60 million a year? Because he actually altered the course of every single game that he played. Every single game.
You're going to say this is blasphemy. Hot take time, ladies and gentlemen. Hot take time. I'm going to say, you talk about the impact Lawrence Taylor's had. Absolutely. You had the game plan around him. He changed the history of the sport. No doubt about it. I'm saying Aaron Donald also is an individual who is changing this position. He is one of those guys that is just, you'll never see another interior defensive tackle like you see Aaron Donald, just like you'll never see an outside linebacker like you saw Lawrence Taylor. I don't think you're ever going to see a player who's got the ability to rush and create pressure and to create gap and have gap control like Aaron Donald in defensive tackle again. I just don't think you're it.
Before Lawrence Taylor, there were no rush linebackers.
Yep.
I mean, he absolutely changed the way the game was played. Aaron Donald is not.
Aaron Donald as an interior defensive tackle has had 20+ sacks. First time that's ever happened in the sport.
Well, Alan Page used to have close to that amount of sacks when he played for Minnesota as well. I'm just saying there have been guys like that. There's never been another Lawrence Taylor. Changed the way that the game was played. Now he had to be blocked by a tackle and be chipped. Sometimes throw a tight end in there to take on 2 or 3 guys and still was the best player in the game. He was phenomenal. You never saw him play. You don't know.
Okay. I could tell you what Aaron Donald. Have you ever watched any of those Los Angeles Rams game, Grumpy? I know they play later, usually, the late time period, and especially because they're a really good team, they usually play the night game. You ever stay up and watch those games, Grump? Have you ever seen how often Aaron Donald gets double teamed, sometimes triple teamed? They always have either a running back that's always viewing over there too. So, hey, we're watching anytime they get pressure. If we're not doubling them, I've got a chip by a running back too. You ever watch those plays, Grumpy? It's very similar. You talk about Alan Page. Come on now. Alan Page, 18. Hey, outstanding Hall of Famer. Most sacks he ever had in a season, 18 sacks. Other than that, one outlier never had more than 13 sacks in a year. I'm saying Aaron Donald does that stuff on a consistent basis. That's
okay. 18 sacks a year where they were throwing the ball nowhere near as much as they do now. I'm just saying the game was different back then. It was predominantly a running game. And he won Defensive Player of the Year twice, I believe, in his career.
Alan Page was also 245 pounds as a defensive tackle is what he was listed at.
Well,
the game has changed since, I was about to say, you know what, grumpy old man, in the 60s and the 70s and even the early 80s, offensive linemen and defensive linemen looked like this. Now they're all looking like this, and they all move much quicker than they used to.
They're all taking the juice. That's why.
I'm not. You're not seeing me. I'm not going to say they're not, because they probably are.
Okay. Aaron Donald is nowhere near. He's good, but he's not a Lawrence Taylor. He's just not Lawrence Taylor. Sorry. Lawrence Taylor just totally changed the face of the game. Had an impact every single game he played. Every single game.
Are you trying? Okay, when you say stuff like that, Aaron Donald has an impact every game he plays too. You know that, right?
Really? I think New England, certainly when they played him in the Super Bowl, they just schemed right around him. They schemed him. He did nothing in that Super Bowl. Nothing.
We're going to have to go back and rewatch how many times they doubled him and how many times they consistently did everything they could to run away from Aaron Donald. Yeah, sure. When you say, I've got this big, massive player over here on this side who just causes and wreaks havoc, we're going to go ahead and run. Every time we're running the ball, run away from Aaron Donald. Every single time we're passing, hey, quick little slant routes, because we can't afford to hold on to the ball because he's going to be in the backfield, or we have to double team. We have to have a slide side protection to his side. Come on.
Okay. You could not scheme against Lawrence Taylor. Period. Could not do it. Could not do it.
Oh man.
Could not do it.
Grump. Do you know how many times
you've never seen Lawrence Taylor play? I've seen both times.
Lawrence Taylor won Defensive Player of the Year.
I know he was league MVP one year. I do know that. And he was on coke half the time. Think about that.
That should help him out.
He was a full-on junkie, and he still won Defensive Player of the Year. He was the best defensive football player I've ever seen.
Did he have
no one else even close. No one else even close. Not even close.
You used to have one of those coke fingernails?
No.
Hey, I'm not trying to belittle what Lawrence Taylor did.
He played high.
Hey, I'm not belittling at all what Lawrence Taylor did. I'm just saying,
better than Aaron Donald. Better, way better. Matter of fact, I'm going to go way better. No comparison between the two. None. Zero, not a nothing.
Okay. All I'm saying is, hey, guess what? They both have 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards, Grumpy.
Has Aaron Donald ever won league MVP?
Next.
No. Next.
Okay, grumpy old man. Look at you. I guess it will have to be one of those that gets settled at another later date, grumpy old man. Eli says the fire department, New York, versus the New York Police Department. Hockey game's on right now, tied 2-2. Second period, 12 minutes ago. That'd be one of those that would just be fun to watch as a sport.
It's on ESPN2 right now. So
really?
Yes.
Oh man. And then Mike M saying, dig up, and I'll have you pronounce this name.
Lyle Alzado.
Lyle Alzado. He's better than both of them.
See, you don't even know who Lyle Alzado is, do you?
I can't tell you I know who Lyle
Alzado is. Here's the thing. You make these proclamations on people you've never seen play. Here's the thing.
I've seen Lawrence Taylor's. I've seen the videos. I've seen him play, right? Okay. I've seen
you never watched him play.
Are you asking me, hey, can I make an opinion on Lyle Alzado? No, Grump. I've never seen him play.
Okay. He originally started with Denver, came out of Yankton State College. Matter of fact, I think they did a 30 for 30 episode on him. After leaving Denver, he went to Oakland, and he would have a hard time playing in today's NFL. He was suspended, had a whole bunch of fines. He was ultra aggressive. That was his game. He also was a steroid freak at the end. And, that's what he contributed to his death. He thought that's good.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. And then what a film said.
He started taking HGH before it was popular.
What a film said. TJ starts tearing it up when it comes to football. I love to see his passion for the sport, Grumpy.
Yeah, it's just he doesn't know shit. He can talk about you about offensive line, but please.
Oh goodness. Mike M also saying he would have never played as many games because he would have smoked too much crack with all the money he's made if he was playing today.
Yeah, he did have a problem. He absolutely had a drug problem.
Now you want to talk about hot takes. Alexander trying to say Jason Taylor is as close to LT as it comes.
No.
I'm sorry. I don't know.
No.
Jason Taylor excellent, but come on.
No. He was good. Jason Taylor was good at his role. No, sorry. Alexander, we love you. No.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sorry. Not there. Not Lawrence Taylor. Good. Oh wow. I thought I saw LT smoking a cigarette too on the sidelines in some film.
I don't think he's maybe just a crack pipe. I don't think he actually smoked cigarettes. Maybe he was puffing on a doobie. Who knows? Not on the sidelines. He didn't do it.
Grumpy, this is a very complimentary comment of you, Grumpy. So I'm going to have to make sure I lose it in the comments. I didn't see this one, Grump, but Mrs. Kwan said, Grumpy, I wanted to tell you, my dad and I listen to you, and it's our favorite thing to do that we do together. We're big fans.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much, Mrs. Kwan. Here's the thing. I love to bring people together. Even when I'm divisive, I love to bring people together.
That's what it's all about, Grumpy old man. That is what it's all about. Now, Grump, this is something that I don't think this is a surprise. I try to keep some of the topics we bring up on the podcast as a surprise because I want to get your natural reaction.
They're all surprises to me, all of them, because we never communicate about it. That's what TJ likes to do, spring stuff on me and then criticize me if I get some little factoid wrong.
Oh, Grumpy, because it's easy, right? It's like I'm just throwing soft toss to you. Now, did you happen to see the list of the 9 name options that the Washington football team might rename their team to, Grump? Did you happen to see it?
No. Let's see.
Okay. I'm going to read it. I'm going to read them to you, Grumpy.
Okay.
And now there's one name that should stick out to you, and you would say, What the hell is the Washington football team thinking? Okay, so the name options are the Washington Red Hogs, the Washington Defenders, the Washington Armada, the Washington Red Wolves, the Washington Presidents, the Washington Brigade, the Washington Commanders, and the last option, the Washington football team. Those are the top 8 options. So there is a possibility the Washington football team might keep their name exactly the same as it is and call themselves the Washington football team for eternity.
You know what they should do? They should name themselves the Redskins again and say, screw you. That's what they should do.
Out of this option, I'll be honest with you, all of these like military commando-ish type of names, they're awful. I look at it like if you were starting a brand new football team and you were just on a video game, Grump, I know how much you love video games, but if you're on a video game and you said create random team, these are the type of generic names they throw out there to you. The Defenders, the Armada, the Presidents, the Brigade, the Commanders. Come on. You couldn't have thought of a better name than that. I like the Red Hogs, the Red
Well,
Wolves.
here's the thing. You have to be really careful what kind of name you pick. So why don't they just call themselves? They just stick with WFT. They should call them WFT WTF. That's what they should call themselves.
I like the Red Hawks. Right? Because what you think about the Washington Redskins of past, what I think of offensive and defensive line, the Hogs. That's what I think of. And maybe because I'm an offensive lineman, I would start rooting for the Red Hogs because our old linemen, the men in the trenches are getting some love. The Red Hogs. I would love the team to be called the Washington Red Hawks.
Why do they have to name anything red? Is it because they're afraid of changing their colors too? Why not just do a whole reboot? A whole thing. You don't have to have red anything. I mean, are you so unimaginative that you can't even come up with something else? How about out of all those names, seriously, the only one I would even consider would be the Brigade. The only one. Certainly not the Presidents. Absolutely not.
Oh my goodness.
The Commanders, nope. Red Wolves. How many wolves are running around in the street?
Here's the thing. When I hear Red Wolves, that Arkansas State has a mascot called the Red Wolves already. It's not like it's a generic like a Wildcats or Panthers where there's a whole bunch of them. A Red Wolf, there's only one team I'll ever associate with the Red Wolves, and it's the Arkansas State Red Wolves. And again, like some middle tier, non-Power 5 conference Division 1 team, the Arkansas State Red Wolves. You can't use the Washington Red Wolves. Call them the Red Hogs. That is a team name. You need to call yourself, out of the 8 that are listed, there's one clear choice. It's the Washington Red Hogs. You cannot, and I mean cannot, choose the Washington football team. Holy crap. You want to talk about, you've had over a year and a half to think about these names, and you are saying, hey, the crummy name that we came up with on the fly that took us about a week or two to come up with, when all the media backlash was coming at the Redskins, the Washington football team, we're maybe deciding to run with this. Oh, come on. You have to have come up with better names than that.
Here's what I'd like. I'd like them to go to all the little Quimby cancel culture people who, what do you think the name should be? And then they could put their list out there, and then they go right there on TV, go, this name, X, 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 X. Whatever you cancel cultures want, I guarantee you it's not going to be that. I'm definitely not. That's what I'm using to eliminate names.
Okay.
Whatever you say,
let's be honest though. Red Hogs, right? That should be the favorite.
No, why did red? Isn't that insulting to other hogs? How come they're red hogs? I think they should have a problem with that. Don't hogs have a problem with that? Maybe there's white hogs or black hogs. Why are red hogs so special? It's insulting to other hogs. Same thing with the wolves, red wolves. What about
black wolves and gray wolves? I don't
know.
I like the name Red Hogs. I want them to choose Red Hogs.
First of all, that's not going to sell merchandise. Okay. So here's the thing.
That's true.
First of all, it's wolves, not woofs. It's wolves. Pronounce it right.
What wolves. Wolves or woofs?
You keep on saying woofs. It's WOLVES. There's no F in there.
Red wolves.
Wolves.
The red wolves. Does that make you happy or grumpy? Red wolves.
Yeah, you'll screw it up again. But those are terrible names. Like I said, the only one I'd even consider
Red Hogs
would be Brigade. And here's the thing: this way you don't have to put anything on your helmet ever again. They can save money on all that.
You're just going to keep the W and just call yourself the Washington Brigade, and it'll just be a W forever and ever and ever. They won't have like a mascot. It's just going to be the W as the logo too. I mean, what type of logo are you going to have for the Brigade? Hey, at least I'm all for the Red Hogs.
Here's what it should be: WFT HFC. Who effing cares? That's what it should be. We're the HFC. You don't like our names? Screw you. First of all, I never would have gotten rid of Redskins. Ever. FedEx didn't like it. Bye-bye. There's somebody else who's going to put their name on your stadium.
Okay. Here's another thing too that I just thought of.
Caving to that type of mentality sickens me. Don't cave.
Cool. Are you going to stop? I was getting to a point, Grumpy. You almost derailed my thought. I'm glad I remembered. Here's the thing. I told you about how the Arkansas State Red Wolves are named
Wolves.
That's what I said. Wolves.
You said it's
wolves. That's why I said wolves. And you're okay. Red Wolves. Red Wolves, Grumpy. Now, you know what they also call the Arkansas State Razorbacks? They call them, maybe they call them the Hogs. I don't know. They call them the Hogs or the Pigs. I can't remember what the hell they call them. But did they just go to Arkansas to come up with these names? Because I'm thinking Hogs relates to or maybe it doesn't. Oh, man, they call them the Razorbacks. I screwed it up.
Razorback is a type of hog.
Okay, that's why they call them the Hogs. Okay, yeah. Terrific. So they chose 2 names from different Arkansas colleges. Man, oh, man. I like the Red Hogs personally. That's who I'm supporting. Grumpy old man, you're a part of the Brigade, the Washington Brigade.
No, I don't think they should use any of those names.
Just keep it the Washington football team, WTF?
Yep. WTF. That's what they should call themselves.
Oh, man.
How about WFU? How about that? That's what we're going to call ourselves. WFU. I'd love that name. Screw you. You don't like it? Who cares?
Okay. Good to hear, Grumpy. Glad. Get it all out, Grump. What can I say? Speaking of that, Eli says best name option is the Washington Wimpy Cats.
That'll sell to the people of the cancel culture. That's probably one of their top names.
Alexander saying, well, TJ, Mets just lost to the Marlins. That should put the final nail in the coffin. Yeah, the Mets, they're done. The Mets
are putting the screws in now, not just nails. So, lower away. Season's over, Mets.
Mike M saying the Mr. Pink Brigade.
Mr. Pink.
Hog lives matter. LOL. Oh
There
my.
you go.
Oh goodness gracious. And then Alexander said they should be called the Washington Fugazis.
Thank you very much, Alexander.
What a film said, the Edmonton Eskimos to the Edmonton Elks.
Have they changed their name?
Oh, the Edmonton Eskimos, they're changing their name. Really?
Ugh, ridiculous.
Oh,
ridiculous.
I have to look that up.
Ridiculous.
I mean, I know it's not from around here, so I mean, you're not hearing too much about the Edmonton Eskimos changing their name. Yeah, my God, the Edmonton Eskimos, the CFL team, the Edmonton Eskimos changed their team name to the Edmonton Elks. Wow,
ridiculous. You want to know how bad a team name that is? When I was playing baseball as like a 10 and 11-year-old, our team was named the Elks.
Oh my gosh. Oh, so that's, the creativity of 10-year-olds were able to come up with the team name of Elk, and they thought that was a cool one, and they're throwing it on the Edmonton team. Oh man.
Again, you're letting 10-year-olds put a description of a multi-million-dollar enterprise. Smart move, Edmonton. There's a reason why you live where it's 40 below.
Alexander saying TJ sounds like he's saying woof.
That's exactly what you're saying.
Fair enough. Eli saying Yankees need pitching. Everybody's injured, and we got bums like Heaney ruining these games.
Yeah, he was not the answer when they picked him up from the Angels. No.
What a film saying this name-changing deal is wrong. Bloody hell. What a shame.
And the whole thing was the actual Indians, am I allowed to call them Native Americans, whatever? They didn't have a problem with the name. It was outside people had a problem. The cancel culture had the problem.
You always look at, and again, like you look at how opinions have changed, right? You look at this back in the 70s and the 80s. They always talked about this is our team, right? We've got a team to root for. Beat those damn Cowboys, right? We've got a team that we're proud of, right? The original Redskin logo was drawn by a Native American, and now it's like, okay, you're seeing a slow shifting. Here's the thing, whatever, change your name. I don't care. Whatever. Just don't pick a bad one, right? You talk about the Cleveland Indians, they changed themselves to the Cleveland Guardians. Oh my God. And the mascot, the logo was
going to sell merch. That's going to sell merch, people. They're so dumb. They let some outside influence determine the direction of their business. I didn't hear anybody complain about it. They were being proactive. Well, then you're a moron. You deserve to lose, Cleveland.
Alexander saying the next thing is going to be the Blackhawks.
Supposedly that's the one's not under attack yet.
I was about to say, not yet, that is. But, hey, it's an ever-changing landscape. Now, I want to talk about changing news, Grumpy Old Man. Still, one last football topic I want to talk about. Did you happen to hear? Now, they dropped a teaser. Now, this is coming out on I believe it's a Saturday podcast or the Friday. They call it the Funky Friday. So I think it's coming out on Friday. Cam Newton, he's quoted saying, "I am going to remove all doubt. I said it once and I'll say it again. There's not 32 guys out there better than me, bro. And let's be honest."
Okay, he's right. There's not 32 guys better than him. There's probably about 150 quarterbacks better than him. And I'm including guys in 1AA because he is absolutely toast. They keep on making excuses for this guy. He's a loser. He's always been a loser. Cam Newton is a loser.
Okay, he's not a loser. He did win a national championship. He did win a national. Hold on, stop. He won a national championship. He's not a loser. Come on.
Okay, you know what? When it really counted in the NFL, he couldn't get the job done, and he didn't even have the balls to go after a fumble. Nope, I'm backing up on that. He's a loser. I don't understand the infatuation with this guy. He was a good football player, excellent athlete, crappy quarterback. There's a difference. I keep saying
okay. Come on. You have to be fair and honest, right? He's a good, back in his prime, he was a good quarterback. He was a guy who got off of raw ability, didn't have good fundamentals, always threw off his back foot, but his shoulder was good when he was young, and he didn't take a lot of damage, so he can beat you by running you over, which not a lot of quarterbacks can or could do at that time period. And he could also, hey, you got to respect, you got to leave a QB spy in there. That means the secondary can't be as strong there in that aspect. You can't run zone against it, or you can't run an effective zone against it, so you're able to pass for more effective yards too, right? So when everything was going great, he was a good quarterback. Not excellent, not bad, not average. He was a good quarterback because he had the ability to run over defenders. Right now that Doesn't run the ball as well as he used to, not as physical as he used to because age catches up with him and his shoulder kind of is beaten up. He struggles a little more. And I see occasionally a good pass here or there. I'm sorry. Cam Newton's towards the tail end of his career. And, 30 quarterbacks better than him. I think there may be 32 quarterbacks better than Cam.
I told you last week when you said he's going to get a job, I said he will not get a job. He is not good enough. He sucks. And you just proved my point. He was never a great he was an average quarterback at best. Excellent football player, great athlete, but not a good quarterback. How many years? I think it was only 1 year in his whole career he completed over 60% of his passes. To me, that's not a good quarterback. It just isn't. The 1 year when they went 15-1, made it to the Super Bowl, I think they played 1 or 2 teams the whole year who had a winning record. I mean, he's a bum.
You want I want to show you something that's going to make you very happy. Well, first off, Mike M saying Grumpy's right. Cam was mediocre. Here's the thing. He's not a bum. He's not a loser, though. Okay, anytime he says he won a national championship, top of the level in college, and he was a good quarterback in Carolina. Not great. He wasn't a top 10 guy. He was a guy that hovered around, 12th, 13th best quarterback. And again, because he could run the ball, it made him a more effective quarterback. There's no lying or trying to disguise that. Now, this is where I have an issue, is when fans do things like this. This is when I have an issue, right? When they try to show a stat comparison between Brady in 2019 and Cam Newton in 2020. The completion percentage was higher for Cam Newton. The yards per attempt was higher for Cam Newton. The throw on target throw was higher for Cam Newton. The bad throw percentage was lower for Cam Newton, and the points per drive was higher for Cam Newton. And they're always like, oh, well, here it is. It's just because of defense, and there's so many players who sat out. That's why Cam Newton struggled last year, and Tom Brady was being kept afloat by the absolute stellar defense of the New England Patriots. When I see stuff like this, how are you rating bad throw percentage, right? Is there somebody who says, oh, this is what I rule objectively a good throw and a bad throw? And I noticed they're also not talking about how many touchdowns Cam Newton threw for. Only threw for 8 freaking touchdowns last year, ladies and gentlemen. And you look at Tom Brady, right? In 2019 had 24 passing touchdowns, right? How many touchdowns you're able to throw for and run for? That does actually matter, believe it or not.
And guess what else matters? Winning. They were 12-4 with Tom Brady, the same cast and crew that was out there with Cam Newton, 7-9. Because Cam Newton is a loser. He's a freaking loser. I'm just telling you right. LOOSER, loser. That's what he is. Oh. He's always been a loser. Always.
But he did win a national championship. Can't say he's always been
because he was bigger than it, because he was the big kid on the block. That's what he's got the bully mentality. And guess what? You want to know why he was cut? Because they didn't want him being a divisive influence in that locker room when he lost. And here's the thing. He was absolutely dominated by Mac Jones in that competition. It wasn't even close. Mac Jones could run the offense. Cam Newton could not run the offense. Teddy Bruschi came out and said that Mac Jones was trying to teach the offense to Cam Newton. Bingo. That's all you need to know. Loser. He does look the most like a pimp of anybody in the NFL, with his pretty little costumes and his hats and the feathers. What a goof.
Why are you even mentioning
Because he's a fool. Maybe if he concentrated on football more and learning how to actually do things, he could have been a really good quarterback. But he always got by on physical ability. He was coddled in Carolina, absolutely coddled in Carolina. And then they tried to coddle him up in New England. Guess what? He just isn't very good.
In June and August, I would never get a full night's sleep.
Oh, man, Grumpy. I apologize for that. Well, I wanted to pull up because you mentioned, now who did you mention said that? It was Rob Ninkovich.
Okay.
It was Rob Ninkovich, and that's why I wanted to pull up the article. It said, now here's the thing, and again, we'll use this with a grain of salt, right? I do think, I don't know why you're saying he dresses like a pimp. He dresses exotic. I would say dresses like a pimp. Who gives a shit how?
Okay, watch Starsky and Hutch from the 1970s TV show. Okay, so he doesn't dress like Huggy Bear.
70s pimp. Pimps don't dress like that anymore, grumpy old man. Okay,
he's a throwback pimp. What can I tell you?
Oh, Jesus Christ, pathetic. So we're moving on here, talking about what the comments were, right? He said, Ninkovich said, from what I gain from sources inside the actual building, from everything I understand now, Mac Jones was basically helping Cam Newton learn the playbook. He continued, because Mac was having less mental errors and having a better understanding of the offense. We didn't see Cam running any 2-minute drill because that's why we didn't see him running any 2-minute. We didn't see him run any no huddle. You have to run no huddle. That's vital. Holy crap. These words, if true, tell you all you need to know. Right? You can say what you want about the way he dresses. You can say what you want. Oh, he's a loser. He's this or that. The guy has been there. Right? This is a guy we've always heard his work ethic is unquestioned. He's a guy who works harder than anybody else. Here's the thing. Cam Newton, it's not like he just rolled in there as a rookie. He's been a professional for years. He knows what it takes to be successful as a quarterback. Okay, this is his second year in the system in New England, and you have a rookie who's coming in and who's having to help teach you the playbook per Rod Nikovich, a guy who used to play for the New England Patriots and who has an inside touch, a guy with an inside hand, I'd argue, and that he is having to teach you what the plays are, right? What does that tell you about your real want to be a successful quarterback? If you're not willing to pick up and learn the playbook as a quarterback, that is the one guy who has to know every freaking thing about the playbook. And a rookie walks in and learns the playbook, right? You talk about Mac Jones and the dedication he had to learn the playbook. He said his girlfriend helped him teach him the playbook at Alabama because he came in with the COVID year. He helped, his girlfriend or his wife, girlfriend, whatever it is, significant other, was helping him run through all the plays, just like they helped run through all the plays in New England. And again, a full dedication of I have to know the playbook better than anybody else. That's usually what most quarterbacks take as their approach. You look at the Deshaun Watsons. You look at guys like Russell Wilson. They know every single in and out of that playbook. And Cam Newton just, it seems based off of these comments, does not know the playbook or did not know the playbook very well. Also could have had something to do with him being cut. There's nothing a coach hate more than a quarterback who's not going to learn the playbook. That drives every single coach insane.
He's a loser. That's why. He never spent the time to work at his craft. Other things were more important to him. He got by on raw physical ability. Like I said, excellent athlete, great football player, piss poor quarterback. And I stand by that. Everything, when he won that national championship at Auburn, he was just the big kid on the block. That's what it was. In a tight game, how many fourth quarter comebacks did he have in his career? I want to say one.
Couldn't tell you. Oh, come on. He's got to have more than one. I don't know. But
I thought I saw a stat where they said last year that was one 2-minute drive for a touchdown to win a game at the end. I mean, he
just doesn't have the clutch gene. That could be possible too. Remember, the national championship he won was against Oregon, and there was that questionable whether, I think it was DeAnthony Thomas, whether his knee was on the ground. Oh man, you talk about, you have to go back and really look at that one. Man, oh man, that was a long time ago. Alexander saying Cam was never a good quarterback. Mike Emil saying Cam choked in the red zone all the time. Eli saying, Grumpy, would you rather see TJ dressed in his tank top or in Cam's type of outfits during the show? I don't think I can afford Cam. He never wears, it looks like he never wears the same outfit. And again, his seamstress, maybe is what they call him, or his fashion designer is really bummed about him no longer being in the NFL. I can tell you that much.
His personal tailor.
Okay. I'm glad I couldn't think of the word to describe people that help people dress. As you could tell, I'm wearing a tank top. I don't have one of those.
If he thinks he's one of the top 30, if he thinks he's one of the top 32 quarterbacks in the NFL, he's delusional too. Now he's delusional as well as a crappy and a loser. He's delusional as well.
What a film said, Grumpy, you have to get lunch with Hartman. You guys could coach a team together, a couple of special guys. Thank you. Absolutely. Mike M also said he had to be taught, because he was up all night. Oh God Almighty. Like him saying he was up all night at the strip clubs. But no, you look at it, right? What were they touting on TV all last year? He wakes up. Remember, they gave him like the in-depth outlook on what he wakes up at 5 o'clock in the morning. He gets to he opens New England's door. He's the first guy there. He gets there by 5:45. He runs through this. He does that. You go through how meticulous he is and how much he stays on schedule. I'm just shocked. That really took me back that he did not know the playbook, and a rookie first time playing in the NFL, first time being with the Patriots, is teaching Cam Newton the playbook. That always has shocked me. Always has shocked me.
You said he opened the door, right? So he's a doorman.
I'm joking around. He's opening up the door. He's the first guy. And he was welcoming Bill Belichick into the building.
Okay.
He lived at the Patriots facility, Grumpy. That's what they were telling us.
So he's a doorman in essence.
No.
But you know what you never heard? You ever see him studying the playbook?
No. They said he was. That's what always shocked me. They didn't know that. They said he was really, really, really hitting the books too, really studying film. But it just doesn't look like that. When you're studying that many times, you should be teaching the rookie the playbook, not the other way around. But that's all we'll say on that topic. That's all we'll say on that topic.
I'm just saying everything with that guy, when he fails, is always there's an excuse. Stop making excuses for your failures.
Oh, gotcha.
Own up to it. Own it. You're a failure. That's fine.
And Mike M says, what if films? I want to be there for that too. See how long the check sits on the table. Neither one will pay.
That's why we're going to invite you, Mike M, because I know that you're going to pay.
Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness gracious. Eli saying, 3-3 at the end of the second now with the NYPD game. It's going to be actually a really good game compared to what I was expecting. Maybe the Islanders should borrow some of that offensive talent.
Yeah, like some of the celebrity guys, whoever plays.
Oh, man, oh, man. Wanted to bring up, now, did you happen to see what Hunter Renfroe said today on the Merloni? And I have no idea how to pronounce these two names. Long story short, it's a local radio show in Boston, I believe. Regarding COVID. Did you happen to see that regarding what he said the MLB was doing regarding COVID testing?
I did hear about that. Lou Maloney, who used to play for the Red Sox, Hunter Renfroe basically said that the
I've got the clip. You don't have to worry about it. I was just wondering if you had heard it. I wanted to show you this clip, Grumpy Old Man. Holy crap. You want to talk about, if true, damning to the MLB? Holy crap. I'll let you listen to it, guys.
It's a tough time for us right now. You know, we've gone through a lot of stuff with COVID, and I think one of the things, like, MLB's basically told us stop testing and just treat the symptoms. But we're like, no, we're going to figure out what's going on and keep, then try to keep this thing under control. But other than that, I think that, our staff, like I said, are doing an incredible job keeping guys on the field, but the COVID stuff, they got a lot of our really good players that we could use right now. Obviously, Nick and Bogey and Christian and guys like that, and that we could really use. And thank God we got Kike back the other day, and he's obviously stepped in huge and already contributed to the team coming back.
So MLB asked you to stop testing?
Yes.
And just sort of try to move on and don't worry about it? Yeah. Wow.
Okay.
You guys, you wanted to kind of put an end to it, right? In that locker room.
The next question, Merlone, that's Lou Merlone. He used to play for the Red Sox. Christian Fourier used to play tight end for the New England Patriots. The next question should have been, who did Major League Baseball ask that of, Hunter? Because I know they didn't just go up to Hunter Renfroe out there in the field and say, hey, Hunter, we want you to stop COVID testing.
Okay.
Who did they ask?
Here's the thing. Let me ask you this. Do you believe that's true? Because MLB automatically denied it. Of course, they're always going to deny it. Whether it's true, right, wrong, or indifferent, whether they did or not, they're going to deny it. Would it shock you at all if the MLB, after seeing the Boston Red Sox were having multiple players at different time periods consistently testing positive for COVID-19, if they said, maybe you should ease off a little bit on who you're testing, maybe you should test a little less often, maybe you shouldn't test all that? Would that shock you at all if the MLB was saying that?
No. But that's why the follow-up question should have been, Maloney should have asked him, who in the Boston, who did they ask? Who did they ask that? Was it the team owner? Was it the GM?
Who did you hear this? Who did you hear this from? Were they, how did you get this information? This is correct. How did you get this information? I would have asked again, the direct point question. MLB asked you to stop testing. And he said, yes. That's, again, he's very set that is his understanding. The MLB asked him to stop testing. It would not shock me at all, though, if, again, because the Boston Red Sox, again, are a team that are vying for, World Series championship. So, you thought, okay, they're trying to get, they're going to be.
They might make the playoffs.
Okay, they might make the playoffs. And again, them getting COVID consistently, missing players left and right, certainly does not help them stake their claim for the playoffs.
True. But the one thing I found really interesting is you see Maloney's got his head down doing something, Fourier's doing something else. And you see Maloney lift his, he's only halfway listening to Hunter Renfroe. And then he's like, what? Oh, And then it's like, okay, now I have to ask a question because he couldn't believe what he heard.
Oh man, oh man, oh man. You want to talk?
I want to know who Major League Hunter Renfroe. Who did you hear this from? Who did Major League Baseball contact in the Red Sox organization? That's what we want to know.
You want to talk about incendiary? Holy crap. Could you imagine if that's true and somehow they have something to validate these statements, like, ownership or a coach or a manager or Joe Montanaz, who is the trainer, who was, instructed and has correspondence, head trainer. Could you imagine, though, if that is true? The type of backlash and fire that the MLB would be under, telling a specific team that was having multiple COVID tests, maybe you should start easing off on the COVID tests.
The only reason I could think why they would say that or do that is because no one's getting sick. And they're just testing positive and they're all asymptomatic. That's the only way that I could imagine them saying that. Because if people are getting sick, I think it would be a real problem on their part. But if no one is getting sick, when they're testing positive, maybe that's why they did it. And I'm not sticking up for Major League Baseball because I absolutely do believe that they would do something like that. I just want to know who they talk to.
Man, oh man, it's something we've got our eyes on. Holy crap. Could you imagine if that's true? Oh.
Who sent that? Who picked that topic, by the way, today?
You sent that to me, and I'm
glad
you
very much. I sent that topic in, yes.
Oh, look at that. Grumpy sent me one topic, and he's over here putting a feather in his cap.
You thought it was very interesting because those are the topics I sent. Interesting topics, not traffic patterns.
Hey, I asked Rob Shrimp what the traffic was like in Atlanta. I'll never live it down, huh?
Got that right.
Oh, man. Now, I know. Did you happen to hear what's going on with Ben Simmons, Grump? Ben Simmons, the 76ers they are listening to offers and they're testing the market to see what they might get back in return for Ben Simmons because they're having a little bit of issues, Grumpy.
Yeah.
Did you happen to hear that?
I heard a little something about it that Barkley and Shaq.
I've got that. We'll play that clip too, but I want to show you first here. Now, this is coming from the Ben Simmons camp. You want to talk about something that might turn ugly? I'll let you listen to this and tell me whether this sounds like Ben Simmons and the 76ers have a healthy relationship. I'll let you listen to it.
One of the messages that Ben has sent back towards Philly is that it's not his job to fix his trade value. It's not his job to correct his trade value or raise his trade value. That is not something that is on the menu for him. And so with that out there, I don't think he's interested in coming in and trying to change the situation. And one thing that I think is interesting is that his contract is structured in a way that he's going to get half of his money by October 1st, $16.5 million of his $33 million comes before he has to worry about getting fined a single dime for 41 of his games. So he's going to have a war chest and he can just sit this out.
Man, oh man, Grumpy. Ooh, you think he's going to sit out?
I don't know if NBA contracts are guaranteed, but I'd make life miserable for that kid. Here's the thing. He's like the Cam Newton of the Sixers, has done nothing to improve his game over how many years he's been in the league. Nothing. He still can't hit a shot, still can't hit a free throw. Everything he was good at when he came in from college is the same things he's good at now. He's never worked on to strengthen the weak parts of his game. Here's the thing. He won't even shoot the ball at the end of games. His
jumper is bad. I mean, he cannot hit a free throw, right? They used to give people, they used to give Shaq, the shtick for, hack a Shaq. They do the same exact thing for Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons can't go ahead and hit a jumper to save his life. He, at the end in game 6, was passing up that dunk right underneath the basket, looking to pass out when there was not a single soul in sight. So you talk about a guy, the confidence isn't there to be a big time player. He's never really improved on his jump shot. You're 100% right, Grumpy.
Here's the thing. He is the Josh Bailey of the NBA.
Oh, man.
That's what he is. Doesn't want to score. Here's the thing. He's just not capable of it, this guy. So he is a lot like Josh Bailey, I guess. Here's the thing. But I'd much rather have Josh Bailey than Ben Simmons. That much I'll tell you.
Oh, man. And I'll pull up the comments now. Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal made sure to make their voices heard on this topic. And I'll pull up the podcast here, and I'll pull up it for you, Grump. But you got a few comments I want to show you here. Eli said, yeah, I very much doubt the MLB went straight to Hunter Renfroe. Maybe their health department, and then the rumors spread around the clubhouse. That's how I think probably it happened. Joe Montanaz, who's the head trainer, got a word or a whiff from, whoever they correspond with the league, and that's how he interpreted it, and that's what they were kind of spreading a little. Maybe, hey, we're talking about in the locker room, and Hunter Renfroe went ahead and I guess let loose on it.
Yeah, I think they went to either the owner or the GM. I don't think they were going to their health staff. They're not going to deal with the minions. They'll talk to the high up and let them just figure out how they're going to spread that message. If they did that, they're going to take the path of where they're less complicit.
Yes, least amount of at least, if I can be avoided being tied to this at all, they're going to do that. Mrs. Kwan said, just want to thank you. You guys are like family to me. Well, thank you, Miss Kwan.
Mrs. Kwan, I'm sorry, Mrs. Kwan. Eli also says there, the T in TJ stands for traffic. Oh, jeez.
Oh, man. And then Eli said, could you imagine an NHL player making $40 million a year? These athletes are overpaid. Give them NHL money.
All athletes are overpaid, but I don't begrudge them any of the salaries that they make. More power to them. But you're right, they are overpaid.
Oh, man. What a film said, TJ, don't take down the Islanders sign ever. Let it hang in pride.
Yeah.
I guess I could. I always just try to change it. So, hey, this is just a general sports podcast. So that's why I always just take it down.
That's fine.
Mm-hmm. Mike M said, I think they should just stop keeping score completely and give everybody a trophy.
There you go.
Oh, good.
Mike M sounds like he's one of those, the cancel culture people, I think.
One of those.
You get a trophy. You get a trophy. Everyone gets a trophy. He strikes me as that type of guy.
Well, here we go. We've got, now this is, I'm going to let you listen to the clip. Now Spice Adams, he's a funny fellow. Now we got Shaquille O'Neal and Charles Barkley, and we got the Spice Adams as well on the big podcast with Shaq. I'll let you listen to it, Grumpy. Now it's worth listening to. Now these are two OGs, as they mentioned, two with, Hall of Famers, two greats, and they're talking about Ben Simmons. And again, they share the same exact opinion as you, Grumpy, but I'll go ahead and let this clip play for a little bit.
It looks like that the Ben Simmons Philadelphia 76ers experiment is going to end ugly.
Well, I'm disappointed in Ben Simmons. When you give somebody $200 million to dribble a stupid basketball, and the only thing you ask them is be better as a player, and their first response is, I don't want to play here anymore. That disappoints me as a player. It disappoints me as a fan. They're not saying, hey, come over here and cut my grass. They're saying, Ben, we need you to learn how to shoot the basketball.
I have G14 classification to say what I'm about to say.
Okay.
And so does Charles Barkley. Ben Simmons, you're not that good. And then in this league, do you want to be good or do you want to be great? You're not great. But if you want to get to that next level, you have to be great. And to be great, you have to work on your game. Don't be putting pictures on your Instagram or your Ferrari or what actress you're hanging around with. When you play for a town like Philadelphia, Boston, LA, Miami, hard-working town, they don't give a shit about none of that. They want you to come, work hard, and play hard. I was at that game 6 when that man didn't even look at the basket. And I know as a player, first thing I do is I look in the player's eyes. That man was out there terrified. Not terrified of playing, but terrified of being fouled and missing free throws. Forget all that.
What's crazy, when you see the videos that he put up, he's making those shots that he didn't take. Like,
he's making them,
hey,
yes.
Spice, I live in Philadelphia during the summer. This is the 3rd year in a row they put up them bullshit jump shots during the summer. I'm not falling for the banana in the tailpipe anymore.
A lot of these people, you hear from your followers how good you are, how great you are. But you're hearing from some OGs right now. You ain't that damn good. And I said it, and I said what I said. And Chuck said what he said. If you don't like it, do what you got to do. But you ain't that damn good.
So, Shaq.
That's why I like those two guys, honestly. That's why I like them. They don't spare anybody's feelings. They tell it as they see it. And that's what I like about both of them, Chuck and Shaq, both of them.
Oh, I love their insight, too, on it. I love Shaq and a fool.
And they're right. They're right.
For certain they are. And again, I absolutely love that grumpy old man. And I think you're right. They say it exactly how they feel. They don't sugarcoat it. They don't mince words. They're going to tell it exactly how it is. And that's what everyday people love that, because you're seeing a guy who is, an idol for many. He's not a guy out there saying, oh, well, Ben, he's had a rough go. He's just got to work hard. And, I believe in the hard work and ethic he's going to put in. A guy like this has got a lot of hard work and ethic to his game. You see him out there putting, videos together of him, working on his jump shot, working on his craft. And, no, they say, hey, it's time for you to start producing results. And again, you don't see that.
That's the modern athlete, right? It's like, I don't need to work at my game. It's more important how many followers I have on Instagram or Twitter or whatever. It's what they don't care about winning. They just care about the fame. That's all they care about. They're losers. He's the Cam Newton of the NBA. Another loser.
Oh, Eli said, I just thought about this. The possible MLB corona interference would be before the nationally televised Tampa Bay series versus Boston. Maybe they didn't want a bunch of guys out for that series.
I'm going to disagree because this is the MLB is the same organization that puts Derek Jeter's Hall of Fame ceremony induction on Wednesday afternoon.
I could watch Wednesday afternoon.
They're clueless. They're just clueless.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, you're not kidding. I was shocked. I saw that. I was like, Wednesday freaking afternoon. Are you kidding me? Wednesday afternoon, bro. Yeah, man, oh man, you're not kidding there. Yeah, and then Eli also says, imagine how small that laptop seems in comparison to Shaq. I wonder how he uses the mouse pad. I figure he's got to have one of those mouses on the side.
Yeah.
Oh man, Grumpy. Also want to talk about this. Now, did you happen to see there was a little bit of a scuttlebutt in the Brazil versus Argentina game? I think it was on Sunday. Certain Argentine players did not quarantine after they got off the flight, so they had to cancel the game, long story short. And now when these Brazilian players are returning back to action, you're seeing that they are all being right now, Grumpy Old Man, they're being forced not to play into quarantine, so they are not able to play. They're being banned from playing in the Premier League. You've got, again, now these are top-tier players, right? Allison, starting goalie for Man City. You've got Fabinho, CDM, center defensive midfielder also for Liverpool. You've got Roberto Firmino, the striker for Liverpool. You have Gabriel Jesus, striker for Man City. You've got Allison's keeper for Liverpool, Ederson, keeper for Man City. You've got Rafinha, I believe. Oh man.
A lot of guys. Let's just put it this way.
Fred, Thiago Silva, all having to sit out because of the 5-day rule.
I don't get it. Are they sitting out the Argentinian players too? I'm going to bet the answer is no.
Yes.
I'm going to bet the answer is no.
Yes. You're just thinking Brazilian. I think those are, the more prominent players in the EPL. But yeah, they sit out the Argentine players as well.
Well, wasn't Messi playing for Argentina this weekend?
Yeah, he is. But again, EPL, these are EPL rules only. These are not like with the French league, Liga 1. These are not with La Liga. These are not with Bundesliga. This is just with the EPL.
Okay. Well, see, I'm just baffled by that. So are the other leagues just ignoring that, the FIFA ruling? Here's the thing.
Well, no, this is done by the EPL. This is not done by FIFA. EPL only.
Well,
I'll say it again. EPL only.
Okay. Because I thought what it said was the FIFA ruling. FIFA invoked a 5-day rule at the request of the Brazilian Football Association.
Okay, so this is only maybe this is in the Brazilian team. It's only Brazilian players.
I don't understand because the Argentinians were the ones who were having the problem, I heard. I thought that was the reason why they were pulled off the field. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, it's all crooked. International soccer is crooked.
And speaking about that, right? Thiago Silva's name up there. Now, did you happen to see the comments that he made? He was, and I'll ask you about this. He was upset with PSG. He felt that PSG did him wrong. He said, I have nothing against Sergio Ramos, but, at the time, PSG offered him a 2-year contract. He was the same age as me. I helped out PSG to the level they are today. Now, 2 things with this, Grumpy Old Man. First off, he signed with Chelsea. He plays for Chelsea and just won the freaking Champions League. And he's complaining and feels like, hey, I've been slighted. I've been wrong because PSG didn't see my value. They told me I was too old, and yet they're offering Sergio Ramos a 2-year contract when they would not give me an extension for all I did for PSG. I could see maybe why he's a little upset and angry by it, but you just won Champions League, man.
The reason why is because Sergio Ramos can take PSG, which has been an underachiever at club level for Champions League, and he can help put them over the top as a 4-time winner when he's at Real Madrid. To me, Sergio Ramos is a total leader, and I don't think the same thing about Thiago Silva.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Ramos is, you talk about a guy who
Ramos is past his prime.
Yeah. You're not going to see me doubt that. Ramos is past his prime for certain.
But he's a winner.
Yeah. No, absolutely, grumpy old man. I agree with you. Now, did you happen to see a little bit about the comments that MarrChase made? Right, there's been a lot of speculation. Hey, MarrChase has had trouble catching the football, and he struggled in the preseason. They were kind of a little worried about it. And now, did you happen to see the recent comments that he had made? He come out and talked about. Now, it's stirring up a little bit of a storm online, Grumpy.
Yeah, basically the college ball has white stripes on it, and they don't have that in the pros, so it's tougher to catch.
No. The college ball is also bigger. College ball is fatter as well, so that's why you'll see certain college wide receivers, they struggle a little bit. The high school ball is the biggest ball. College ball gets a little smaller. NFL is the smallest, and that's why you see sometimes like kickers also struggle. Right, Roberto Aguayo, remember the kicker that from Florida State, guy who never missed an extra point, missed one field goal in his entire time there, went to the pros, was drafted in the 3rd round as a kicker, and is out of the league. Second round as a kicker, Roberto Aguayo. And remember, right, he always said, the ball is kind of a little smaller, and that's why I'm struggling. I can't find a sweet spot on the NFL ball.
Stop making excuses for your failures. MarrChase, stop making, you know what? Focus a little bit more and be able to catch the ball. I heard that he said it was harder to see for him to identify the ball because it didn't have the white stripes on it. It was more difficult for him to see. I heard he also said that. Like I said, goes to the Cam Newton, Ben Simmons, just quitters, just making excuses.
Okay. You've not even heard the quote, so I'll let you dig yourself a hole, grumpy old man. Now, this is what MarrChase actually said. The ball is different because, now again, I'll read the quote, and then we'll bring context to it because MarrChase responded, grumpy old man. But he said, the ball is different because it's bigger. It doesn't have the white stripes on it. I'm sorry, the NFL ball is, okay, it's bigger. It doesn't have the white stripes on the side, so you can't see the ball coming in from from the tip point. So you actually have to look for the strings on the ball at the top, which is hard. And you see that because the whole ball is brown, and you have to see, and you have the 6 strings that are white.
Like I said, how does anyone catch any passes in the NFL? How is anyone able to do with it? I mean, they all have to make this adjustment. He is not able to make the adjustment. Here's the thing. Focus a little bit more. Stop making excuses for why you can't catch a ball. Get out there with the jugs machine every day and just catch passes. That's all you need to worry about.
Yeah. And Grumpy, I do want to apologize. I think I misspoke. College ball is not wider than the NFL ball. NFL ball is wider than the college ball. Do apologize. And that's why you see a lot of times where you'll see high school athletes will struggle because it goes from a bigger ball in high school to a smaller ball in college back to a bigger ball in the NFL. But again, like it is odd to see him saying this. Now, here's the thing, right? What do I realistically think it is? I just think it's some rust. Didn't play it all last year. Didn't play for LSU. Sat the year out. And I just think you're seeing a little bit of rust from MarrChase. That's what I really think it is. And it's funny, right? Anytime they put them on blast, they go ahead and they make sure they showcase what the comment is, and they take that little tiny comment. They don't take the question into account either. Things could possibly get misconstrued. MarrChase said, I never said it was hard to catch. They asked me what the difference was in the ball. Don't change my words.
Okay, so why can't you catch a pass? Why are you not capable of catching a pass? Because that's the bigger problem. Why are you dropping everything? Why, when you go to the soda machine in the cafeteria, do you drop it? I mean, why? I'm sorry. Don't make excuses for yourself not being able to catch the ball.
Now, here's the thing, right? And we got, again, MarrChase attributed his case of the drops to the NFL ball being bigger than the college ball and not having white stripes. The Bengals assistant wide receiver coach cited rust after Chase did not play football in 2020. I think it's more of the rust factor than anything else. Here's the other thing, right? It shouldn't be more difficult to catch a bigger ball. Sometimes people struggle catching a small ball. Usually don't struggle catching a bigger ball.
Is it easier to catch a beach ball or a golf ball?
Okay, that's a little extreme.
No.
But okay, here's
the thing. What did you think the Bengals assistant wide receivers coach was going to say? He's going to cover for him. That's his job, is to cover for him. He's dropping it because he's a loser. He's a Cam Newton of the Cincinnati Bengals.
You're going to be eating those freaking words. Here's the thing, though. I will tell you this much. MarrChase, okay.
Supremely talented.
Supremely talented, unbelievable wide receiver. The guy has got to make sure he is, crossing his T's and dotting his I's. He has got to make sure he is going to be a sure-handed catching machine out there, because that is what the Bengals expected when they drafted MarrChase. That is exactly what they expected.
Here's what happens. And you see a lot of rookies and young players dropping a lot of passes when they first start into the league. The reason being, you got to remember, when they're catching the balls in college, they're mostly wide open all the time. Everything's in a small window. Everything's faster. So they're trying to make moves or get away from a cornerback or a defensive back. So they're doing things a little bit quicker. So they need to focus more. To me, that's what it's about. There's no pressure I'm not saying there's no pressure in college. Understand what I'm saying, right? You're
not going to have as many catches in traffic as you do in the NFL. You're going to be a little bit more wide open. You don't have to necessarily focus as much. You could say, hey, I want to be wide open. I don't have to worry about a safety coming down and crunching the back of my body, crunching my ribs, delivering a huge hit. I don't have to worry about the corner being right on top of me, breathing down my neck, because I'm able to create more separation when I'm in my routes and breaks. So I understand it, right? It's all a focus thing. When you see those guys that go from the college and they could catch everything that comes their way, and they go to the NFL and they're struggling, they're dropping more passes than they're used to, it's all focus. That's something you've got. You're right. Jug machine, do whatever you got to do, having your eyes closed, and popping out, right? You looked at this, right? When they had talked about how LSU won the national championship, I remember the year before they won the national championship, they talked about how the LSU wide receiver corps had issues catching the football, and they did all different types of unorthodox ways to help them increase their ability to catch in their focus level. They would have them behind a door, and they come out in the last second, and they'd have to react to where the ball was in order to catch it. They were doing all different types of unorthodox things in order to catch the ball and improve their ability to catch. And you're seeing they're struggling a little bit with it. I think it's just rust, and I think the mental focus isn't there.
I think it's totally mental focus. That's what I totally think it is. These guys don't like to get hit, first of all.
Why not like that?
Right. And the game is faster, and they hit way harder than they do in college. And I think that gets in their heads.
Yes, they do, grumpy old man. Have a few comments to go ahead and look at. Now, What a Film said, is Steve Yzerman not the most underrated, underappreciated guy in hockey, Grump?
One of them. He built the Tampa Bay Lightning. He leaves there, and he's totally retooling the Detroit Red Wings, and I expect them to their stay on the bottom is going to be short-lived. It's still going to be a couple of years away, but I feel confident with him as GM that they're going to turn it around.
Eli said, so is this only for people who were in the Brazil team or any Brazil national? I think any Brazilian who had left and went to the Brazil football association, so anybody who went to like the national team, they had wanted the players to sit out those 5 games after. So I think that was more of a Brazil item and an EPL item than anything else, but I'm not sure how many Brazilian national players there were in the Bundesliga, so it's not making as big as waves. But you look at the EPL, they've got a lot of different Brazilians on that league, in that league.
Yeah. See, I thought that I heard that Argentina had issues, and that's why the game was stopped.
Well, that's right. The game was stopped because Argentina had certain players that were not quarantined for the proper time. So Brazilian officials came down there and said, we have to stop the game, even though they had been like 7 or 8 minutes into it. They said that, hey, you didn't actually wait your quarantine time. So that's what stopped it. But that's kind of how it was laid out. But now again, like the Brazilian players are going to have to wait out for that 5-day waiting period.
Okay.
So it is what it is. Mrs. Kwan said, I watched Youngblood last night. Thanks. Grumpy, I know he made the recommendation.
I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you, to me, it's a guilty pleasure movie for me. Every time it's on, I watch it.
Alexander said, how come Janikowski adjusted well, Waddle adjusted well? It's just unreal. You've never heard of a rookie wideout saying that. And at the end of the day, I think Chase will be fine. But that's right. You don't really hear rookie wide receivers drafted 5th overall coming out and saying, hey, the reason I'm having difficulties or struggling maybe, a little bit with the ball difference is because, I don't see the white, tips as well. And the ball's a little bit bigger. I don't see that.
Devontae Smith, who won the Heisman Trophy last year for Alabama, was having the same issues in camp for Philadelphia, dropping balls right in his hands with nobody near him. I mean, I don't get over it, fellas. Focus more. You have to pay attention to your craft. Cam Newton, Ben Simmons. I mean, MarrChase, you have to focus on your profession. I mean, that's what you're getting paid to do.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Mike M also said, you either have good hands or you don't.
True.
That is true. Grumpy Old Man. Now, I wanted to show you this. Now, have you been seeing, last football item of the day, have you been seeing the issues that the Baltimore Ravens have been having with injuries, right? They've lost, I think, 3 running backs already in this early season. Man, oh man, that's insane. And this today, they lost Gus Edwards, who was penciled in to be their starting running back. And on the next snap in practice, they lost Marcus Peters, both players due to ACL injuries. Holy crap. And you want to talk about what, the Baltimore Ravens are doing in scramble mode? I'll tell you, for those fantasy owners of Lamar Jackson, you should be licking your lips saying, oh man, things have just gotten oh so sweet. But they have brought in Le'Veon Bell, and they brought in Devontae Freeman. And Adam Schefter says, at least for the time being, give the Ravens the most decorated practice squad in recent memory, if not NFL history.
They also just signed Latavius Murray. And, for me, unless they have a DeLorean with some plutonium, they're not going to be able to take these players and go back in time to when they were good. That's all I'm saying. Le'Veon Bell is total cash. Devontae Freeman is finished. I actually think that that Murray might be the best option out of all of them.
I think Le'Veon Bell's not cashed.
Yeah, you've been saying
Le'Veon Bell guy. I don't think he's cashed though.
Yeah, he's been cashed for years now, and you still just won't admit it. That's fine. Why don't you pick him up on your fantasy team? I always love playing you
on everybody else's fantasy team. I just missed out on a Grump because trust me, I might have to launch a trade for Le'Veon Bell. I'll tell you, I don't think he's cashed, Grump.
Okay.
I'll tell you, I thought if he was given more of a chance, and I thought he was done wrong by Andy Reid. I thought he was a better back than Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and they didn't utilize him correctly.
No, he can't play anymore. He's the Cam Newton of the backfield. Can't do it.
Oh, come on.
Can't do
now,
it.
I want to show you. We got a clip I want to show you, Grumpy Old Man. Cristiano Ronaldo coming back, right? He's being first time back, going to be playing for Man United. And I want to show you the clip he's got here. He wants to be special. He wants to bring Man United another trophy, Grumpy. I'll let you listen to this.
I'm here. I'm not here for vacation, or as I told you before, was good to winning important things that I wore the shirt before many years ago, but I'm here to win again. I'm capable, me and my teammates. I'm ready to go. And I think it's a good chance for me, for the supporters, for the club, to give one step ahead. So I'm ready, and I think I will be a huge thing in the 3-4 years.
I know.
The next 3 or 4 years. Let me ask you this, Grumpy. Do you think Cristiano Ronaldo plays another 3 or 4 years? First question. Second question. Do you think, I know you've already said Man United has no chance to win the league. They're not going to win Champions League. Do you think, have you had any, now that you've had a chance to let this all sink in, do you think Cristiano Ronaldo and the Manchester United Red Devils, will they win either Premier League or Champions League in his time there?
Not this year. Here's the thing. Cristiano Ronaldo is a winner. He's a proven winner. He's a big game player. He's going to elevate everyone on Manchester United, without a doubt, just by his work ethic. He works at his game. Cam Newton, MarrChase, Ben Simmons. He works at his game. Okay? I don't think they have enough talent right now. But he is going to have a positive impact on that locker room and that team. But here's the thing. What does it tell you about him? Will he be playing in 3 to 4 years? Yes. Will it be with Manchester United? That I can't tell you. But he's going to play as long as he's absolutely capable of. That much I can say.
You want to hear something funny? You talk about how he's a positive impact. It's funny. Now, Jamie Carragher says, does Cristiano's arrival negatively impact Manchester United? He thinks so. I cannot believe Jamie Carragher thinks that Cristiano Ronaldo's impact is going to negatively affect Manchester United. I don't know how he I don't understand the thought process he's on.
I think because he could actually expose some of the sidecars and the riders on the train that has been Manchester United for the last number of years. The guys who want to step up, the guys who are really good players, they'll step up to meet his level. I think you're going to find out which guys don't want to do that, and they should be offloaded.
Man, oh man. Mike M saying, he said, did it sound convincing whatsoever? He doubted himself even saying.
Oh, talking about Cristiano Ronaldo?
Yeah.
Well, English isn't his first, second, or third language, so I'm going to give him a little pass on that.
Oh,
He speaks Portuguese, Spanish, French. English is not even close to his primary language.
Not his native tongue, that's for certain. Well, Grumpy, we talked about a lot of things sports, a lot of controversial topics of today's sporting world. Hey, NFL is back, Grumpy. We won't be live this Sunday. We're going to be live again this next Thursday, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Grump, what do you have to say before we wrap things up today?
Sounds like there's something going on in your house. What's going on over there?
We've got to. No, there's nothing going on in our house, Grumpy.
Okay. I just want to say love and laughter to everyone who listens and even those who don't, from TJ and the Grumpy Old Man. Once again, our next podcast will be Thursday, 9-ish TJ time. And our Islanders Never Say Die podcast will not have a Saturday. It will be next Wednesday, 8-ish. That's all I have to say about that.
Well, thank you so much, Grumpy Old Man, for being a part of the podcast as always. And thank you so much for everybody who listened and participated in the podcast. Grumpy Old Man and I love talking sports, love talking controversial issues. So thanks so much for tuning in. Again, we will be live this next Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll have a lot to cover. Don't miss out. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube, like on Facebook, and follow on Twitter to make sure you don't miss out on any of the action. Thank you again, Grumpy Old Man, and thank you everybody who listened to today's podcast.